Hi there. My name, as always, Desmond, Head of Engineering Department, Royal Kingdom Estate. Today is day 14 in our 21-day journey of completing our office space. What have we been up to in the last 14 days? We're bringing you another update for you to know if we are able to achieve this feat. Stay right here. We bring you nothing but the very best. Wow, do I have guests here this morning? How are you all?
We're good.
We're also doing very well. As usual, we are on our 3-week journey.
Ooh.
Yes,
okay.
This is week 2, and we are still on to see if we are able to achieve this feat. So welcome.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for me?
Certainly, of course we do.
I'm here to answer all your questions. So in the last episode, I think what we're doing was we got off where we have to work on the gable. So I explained that the gable roof is the A roof like this, and we decided to choose the same roof because of these reasons. Number one, we realized that if we should use a lean-to is normally either a mono-pitch or a lean-to, a straight kind of roof. What's going to happen is that we will have all the four coming to one side. And because we already had a gable roof and we didn't want to tamper with it, we decided to join it equally with another gable roof and create a gutter. So if you look up there, that's the gutter that we have created. So if it rains, the water coming from here and there will all get here and it will flow outside. Okay. So that's what we have done. And we have equally completed our roof. You can see it beautifully done.
Wow. Okay.
And what we equally did with the roof, I know perhaps one will ask, why did we choose this kind of roofing sheet? This is what we call the asbestos roofing sheet. Asbestos. Okay. It's quite different from the long span or the aluminium or the alu zinc that we see people using. So I get a question, why are we using asbestos?
I was about to ask that question.
I love that.
Yeah, I was like, why is that?
So this is what informed our decision. Number one, we are using asbestos because the old one was an asbestos roofing sheet. So that's the main reason why. So it doesn't look like, though we are doing a renovation, it doesn't look like we are changing from the old design. Number two, we chose that also because in terms of noise, it is lower. It has a lower concentration when it comes to noise than the aluminium ones. So when it is raining and you are working here, you hear the noise, but it will be at a lower rate than when we're using any other form of roofing. Save sometimes we also use the clay, but we're not doing clay roof over here. So that's why we did that.
Okay, I'm particularly excited and I have one question in mind, lingering all the time. So considering the field of construction and then the capacity in which you are working, how are you able to balance and make sure that this project is moving as fast as it is now? You know?
Yes.
I mean, I'm surprised. It's like magic. And then I know you have a lot of projects you are working on. You know, you are head and director of engineers of RKE. How are you able to ensure the flow? You have a lot of workers to monitor and all that. Please tell me.
Well, in the building chain, our leaders, those who came before us, they put the structures down so that we are all able to follow it. So my title is Head of what? Engineers. Means I have various engineers in various capacities who are equally working to ensure that we are able to get or achieve our targets. So what I do is that I move from site to site to check what is going on so that I'm able to advise. And I almost always relate with what is going on site. Now there are days I cannot visit all the sites. We use virtual means. That's why we have our, how do you call it? Our Zoom, our WhatsApp, we do all that. I get the videos and then we are good to go.
All right, my last question or one more question. The other time you spoke about types of concrete. You mentioned reinforced and the others. Which one in particular are you using for this particular structure? I'm just curious.
So we are using every form of, so where you're standing now is concrete. But this particular portion, we use a mass concrete. It's concrete without reinforcement. But areas where we have the block walls, underneath it, we place ground beams over there so that the building is strong enough to be able to withstand the load that is going to come upon it. And over here, with what you're seeing, that's the beam. That's equally a reinforced concrete. So what is supposed to act is that we are joining the old office with the new office. So in the old office, we had our guardrails over here. They are all down now. We'll be putting a glass here. This place will be our workstation for our workers who are going to be working over here. And now this is going to be, this whole area is going to be our reception. So you walk in through here, and what we have done over the last 1 week is to first of all finish with our air conditioning cables. So we're going to put a 2.5 horsepower AC over here, big enough to power this place. And we don't want the AC to move at certain angles. So we're going to cover here with the glass. And then we have 2 doors so that this place is able to chill enough to be able to house all our guests who are coming in here. Then if you look at what is happening up here, we have our cables. At the top, we are using 1.5 mm cables to be for our lightning. And then we are using 4 mm cables for our ACs. And then we are using 2.5 mm cables for our sockets. So we have various types of cables that we are using. And then there's something about coloring. It's very important. You can see some of the cables. We have red, we have black. Over here, we have other colors over here. It helps every electrician who come and be working here to be able to make the right choice. And again, we are using the highest quality cables, made in Ghana cables.
Wow, that's so interesting you would say that, because I was wondering, because electrical, issues, that's very important, and the work of, your electricians. So how is like the wiring set up in the office?
So with what we do, in fact, over the period, engineers came together, we realized that we're having issues sometimes with people getting their houses bent and all, and electrification was one of them.
Right.
So we have high quality cables that does not burn with fire. Even if it has to burn, it burns in a way that it doesn't bring out flames. It becomes black, and again, we have cutouts so that in case there is any power surge, in case there is any joining of cables, it trips off. So we have put all those things in place so that we are able to ensure that the office environment is as clean, as safe.
That's important
for everybody to be able to work in, because we know most of you are not technocrats. And
right.
you're not
well, that's a good peace of mind.
Exactly. And so what we're going to, let me take you around so that you see what has happened there. What we are doing, if you look back here, when you came, I was here, you can see some stuff here. We are going to be fixing the ceiling very shortly. So he is in charge of our ceiling, and what we're doing is we have various types of ceiling. Later on, we'll be talking about it. We have the plasterboard, we have the POP. POP is primarily plaster of Paris. I think the French, you call it plaster du Paris. Plaster du Paris. Yes. plaster of Paris. And normally it is the POP cement, that's what you're seeing here. And then we add a bit of fiber to it. The fiber acts more or less like a reinforced concrete. And that's what is able to make these sheets that you are seeing here, and you're able to hold them without breaking. Without the fiber, these things cannot hold. And we chose it for a reason. The reason is that we want the room to be cozy, to be okay for us. And then we felt, though plasterboard is equally good, but this is what we chose, that we want to go for a plaster of Paris so that we are able to get the design that we want. But when we are done, it will look almost like a plasterboard. But we are not doing acoustic ceiling. We're not used to doing any type of wooden ceiling. I'll be explaining them with time so that you're able to understand. We have various types of ceiling nowadays.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's nice. Not to divert from the roofing and all, but I realized that the plastering on the walls are thicker as compared to other ones that I see at other sites.
So thank you for that. I will show you two technical terms, and we'll go out, you see. Whatever is happening inside here, use the right word, it's called plastering. But when we go outside there, it's called rendering. It's no more plastering. Outside is rendering, internally it's plastering. So what we did with the thickness is that two things. Apart from the block wall, we want all our walls to be 90 degrees. So after our block wall, we still took the angles very well. Any angle that is not going to give us what we want, we wanted to have it so that when the tiles are laid, the room becomes square.
Okay.
Hence, if you check here, the plastering is not so thick, but here it's a bit thicker. Yeah. So it is just for us to be able to make any corrections, because the blocks are cut. We normally don't mold them, we buy the blocks. So sometimes you have issues with the sizes, but when the issues come, you're able to correct them with the mortar. But that's why the mortar is always wet, so that you are able to have the corrections that you want to have with it. So we pick the gauges and then we ensure that we get exactly what we want. I'll show you the various rooms. So like I mentioned earlier on, this place is going to be our reception. So let me show you to my humble office.
I'm so excited.
So this is going to be my office where I'll be operating from here at Royal Kingdom Estate. You can come this way. So we are going to have some spotlights over here. We have an AC over here. And then what we're doing is we are dressing the windows for our windows. We don't have so much time. We're going to be putting burglar proofing over here. So that's why this place has been dressed out already to receive the burglar proofing. And then we'll have the windows as well. So this place is almost set. And we'll be having the guys working shortly to fix the ceiling. Once the ceiling is fixed, we drop the lights in, we get the spotlights, and then we are good to go.
So what type of windows are you going to?
We're going to be doing the same sliding windows. That's what we'll be doing. Yeah, the simple sliding windows. We'll cover them with blinds so that the office becomes more and more conducive for us to be able to work.
Okay, that's exciting. Please, do you have a particular kind of deco in mind? Is it something you've planned out already that you want the office to have that unique kind of feel when somebody comes in, you know?
Well, what I would say is this. First of all, we're going to treat this wall that you're saying. So after plastering is done, we have various types of finishing. But what we're doing now is a trowel finish. We have trowel finish, we have float finish. Again, we have what some people call the spatterdash.
Spatterdash, so what's that?
I will show you shortly. Spatterdash, there's a machine that is being used like we are spraying the wall. And once that is done, you leave it, you don't dress it, you leave it that way. Sometimes you may see the block designs in it. That's a spatterdash.
Oh, then, I think I've seen that before.
Exactly. Then we have the trowel finish, where we use the trowel to finish it up. And then we have the float finish, where the wood is used to finish it up. But we're going to scheme to finish. Now, these are the reasons. If you watch the wall very well, you see small, we call them hair cracks. It's because of the type of sand that is being used. And sometimes you may not get the sand that you want. And so it creates pores in the wall. So we want to seal off all the pores so that when you're working here, now it helps with energy efficiency. Because if your AC is on and it's not escaping, naturally you will not put it on a higher level. You have to reduce it because the room becomes so chilled for you. And once you are reducing it, you are reducing your consumption as well.
I really love that because I've noticed here in Ghana that insulation is a problem. The minute you put on your AC, you know, the room can get hot.
Yeah.
So with you saying this is a really good way to save on, you know, your electricity credits and bill, and it can stay chilled for longer.
Exactly, exactly. Later on, I'll also talk to you about, there's another thing we are adding, sound energy, how we are treating it, but that will be on our next episode. Stay right here.
You're gonna make us wait?
Stay right here. I'm going to give you more as we move because we are moving into finishing. And let me equally say something. This is the aspect where the client should be deeply involved in what we're doing, in the kind of choices that we make, and we can be able to make alterations and changes as and when we want to do that. So if you check in our very first video, we brought out a 3D of how the place is supposed to look like. However, during the construction process, we realized that we're making a mistake. So we needed to make that change immediately. So this is supposed to be, or this is going to be the office of the CEO of Royal Kingdom Estate, Mr. Danny Angels. And in the old design, where I'm standing, we're supposed to cut this portion and use this place as his washroom. We realized that the span is too small. And as a CEO, we wanted to create a lounge area for him, as well as his desk area where he's going to work. So what we did was to do a change and create a washroom. That's what you can see right over here. So that the office space becomes bigger and wider for him. So that's what we have done
that
here.
That makes sense, yeah.
And again, the other things we are doing, when he is seated in his office here, he is able to see everywhere. So right here behind me, he's going to have the CCTV right here in his office. So anywhere in this office, if you are sleeping, the CEO will see you.
See, in that way, we can't slack. We can't slack, right?
As well as
security. So, and again, it will be connected to his phone. So whether the CEO is here or not, he is able to see whoever is in the office, who is not at the office. So if you come and write that you got to the office at 7 and you got here at 10, the CEO will be monitoring you whilst he's outside the country.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, all he needs
it's like Brick Brothers always watching.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay.
Exactly. So that's what is going to happen here. And so let me show you. So this is going to be the washroom. This is going to be the washroom. That's where he's going to use. There are other security features, but I cannot bring out all of them on this video. If you want more security, we are here to give you. So this will be his washroom. We have some glass over here. His wash and basin will be here. His WC will be here. So this is what is going to happen here for him. Let's keep moving, and then I will show you what's going to happen with the decoration that's supposed to happen in his office. So the CEO will be meeting high-profile people, and sometimes they also need to have a lounge area. So this area will be his lounge, where he can be able to meet all high profile. In fact, everybody coming here is a high profile person.
Only for special.
Exactly. So this is what we have been able to achieve in this week. Do you think we can be able to finish our 3 weeks and be able to hand over? Stay right here. 1 more week. Is it possible?
I think it is.
1 more week.
Is
it possible?
I think so.
Catch you again next week. Thank you so much for having me. Bye.